shit shot again. All right. This is gonna be Tuesday. Yeah, unfortunately, down 650 today. Messed up a little bit. Let's talk about it. All right. So coming into the day, right? We're still in this uptrend, right? I'm talking about kind of consolidating a little bit, so I didn't really like that, right? Um, so coming in the day overnight, we swept Asia lows with an SMT, a really strong displacement up off there. So I liked, a move higher, which obviously we got, right? I didn't see this until we already did, but it makes sense that we do get a move higher, right? A very fast move at that because we didn't have red folder news. But the thing is, after taking yesterday's high, right? We took yesterday's high. Overall, just in these PD rays still kind of up here. We did not displace over this high, so we're kind of displacing back down pretty heavy. As you can see, is this of this 9 a.m. 1 hour candle, right? We displaced pretty hard back down, um, which in my opinion was like most likely going to be a retraceable move down before we pop back up. I think these lows will still get protected, right? Just because if you want to use standard deviation on these, you know, on these, right, we still haven't really played out too much, right? And with that, right, we're in this uptrend, right? I'm thinking over here is the overall draw anyways, so this just seems to be more like a retraceable, as well as like, you know, we obviously sweep these highs, but we only really get an internal model on the 1 minute, not even on the 5 minute, right? To sell us back down. So I'm thinking odds are we're likely, since we're retracing or displacing so far back down off these highs, right? I'm thinking we're probably going to retrace down, hold these lows, and pop back up, which is exactly what we did do. I just timed it pretty wrong. I thought this was the bottom. Try to take a trade up here and push it. Overall, this was just a horrible trade. I should not have taken it. I should have waited. So let's get into that, right? So overall, when we're looking at ending the retrace, right, we want to wait for trades to come back into OTE. I'll pull this up with my gradient, which would be around anywhere from here to here, right? This is kind of like a good area, right? So with this one, we don't even come back into discount of this range, right? Let's check on ES if we do. At this point, we have also not even came back into equilibrium of this price range on ES. So overall, not good. First of all, you kind of want to see us come back into discount of this previous price range, especially when we're displacing that hard. So that's going to be kept in mind coming forward, right? And also we have this breaker block, right? Um, and we have this breaker block, and there's really nothing in terms of PD rays that is too important right over here, right? Yeah, really nothing. So you just have like this order block on the 4 hour, right? On the 1 hour, same thing, order block, breaker block, all that good stuff right here. So that's like your greatest area of PD rays, right? Is right here, right? This is pretty much all you got. You do have this inverse fair value gap, but considering the nature of this displacement, right? This order block and breaker block are really the two biggest things, the two most important, most valuable PD rays, right? That you can expect us to refer to, which we end up doing. So that's another thing, just to know going forward, right? But yeah, so we probably wanted to come down further instead of just having this here, right? Um, Really no reason really for us. We did have like a 5 minute sweep in this 15-minute fair value gap, right? This does give us the pop, but this model isn't done playing out right yet, right? We want to come down more and feel more imbalances, right? And come down to these key PD rays, right? So that's what we end up doing, and you could kind of infer this from just those things I talked about earlier, as well as if we want to use standard deviation right here, right? Odds are we're likely going to come down into this breaker block, right? It's where we want to see us come down into, right? Um, and once we do end up doing that, right, we come down to the breaker block, get a nice sweep, change the state, higher high, right? Large higher highs, right? You see how order flow is just switching up, right? So you can try and just get in here, right? Now, once we make this higher high, right, I'm thinking just this whole price leg is just going to be a nice uptrend, right? We're going to continue the uptrend now, right? The retraceable is over now. That's what this is signifying to me. Um, and yeah, You could just try and take any small little trade. I tried to take this trade on NQ and I just stopped out because I had to leave at break even pretty much. Um, so yeah, but probably should have taken on ES instead because ES was stronger the whole day by far. So probably should have taken it on ES, but that's also what we learned for the future, right? But so that's where I messed up though, is just thinking that we're only going to come down here on this retrace and pop back up. Um, so yeah, but also, even if I got that wrong, that part wrong, which I did, right? This trade that I took was absolutely stupid. Why did I take this trade? Like, this is just dumb, right? This is nowhere near. We had this 30-second SMT right here. No fair value gap over this. No real market structure shift higher. On the 30-second, we technically did, but this is not my model at all. It's not my system, right? Look at these shitty, like literally insta stop out, bro. Like this is not in my system. This is not aligned, right? I was thinking just because we saw this kind of model right here, we wanted to come and take these highs already and be done. But obviously, this model only played out to these little highs right here. We wanted to protect this high of this model and come shoot us down, right? Which we ended up doing. So this is the high that you wanted to stay protected, which does get protected. Comes down here. Now this is the low that you want to see protected, and it stays protected, right? But yeah. So that's really it for today. This trade was absolutely dumb. So, and not my system at all. Um, there's no reason to be taking this as SMT right here, which is normally what you want to see at a reversal, which we also had an SMT right here. So overall, just a really bad trade. It was just stupid to jump into a trade like this, especially one that's so unaligned. Like this is such a small niche model. It's not going to play out. Um, so yeah, I know that's a dumb model. There's nothing there for me to take. There's nothing saying that this low should get protected. It's really just jumping in stupidly. I've had mental mistakes this week, which I need to fix. Right, this shit should be easy, bro. Like it really should be easy. I'm just trying to force stupid things, and that's just not the way to do this. Um, so yeah, so I definitely learned. I'm only going to stick to my plan and only really take those super super solid setups that I'm confident in, that I believe in, and that I'm just going to hold out, right? And that are in my system, of course. And also now I know a lot more, about how to play retraceable scenarios, right? When we're in a trend and we're retracing, how to catch that kind of reversal back to the trend continuation expansion phase, right? Um, with that being said, like understanding the importance of equilibrium, right? Um, Key PD arrays that you expect that are actually there, right? The biggest PD arrays we had were this order block and this breaker block. So understanding which PD arrays are the most key. We're in this fair value gap in the 15-minute as well. Like it's all really looking good. Um, you know, that is one thing, and as also understanding um, the conflicting models or the models that kind of made us get this retrace move that were behind the retrace. Right? Yeah. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the day, boys. I will catch y'all next time. No face cam today because I'm chopped as hell. Yeah, for real though.